Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again to the old schoolhouse here in the village of Butterstone in Perthshire in Scotland for another one of our wee half-hour live concerts. This is number 76, and it's can't believe it's number 76. In fact, I'm just wondering what. And with a wee technical hitch there just before we started, so I'm a wee bit kind of I've been thrown a wee bit, but we're all right now. I think everything's organised, and thankfully the weather's getting better now, and it's spring. You can feel it out there. It's the wee birds are flying around, and the wee flowers are coming out of the ground and everything and that. So it's a nice time of year. I really like this time of year. And I thought I would start with this wee song. So I'm just going to randomly going through some of my back catalogue here on these wee shows. And this is a song, I think I wrote this up in Northern California, and with a friend of mine called Rod Cameron, who's a wonderful flute player who lived up there. And I remember we were sitting on a park bench somewhere, and we were talking about our youth. You know, I think we had teenage kids at the time, all of us, and we were just, lamenting on how difficult it was for our kids, with all the kind of gangs and drugs and things like that, when they're late teens, And we reckoned that the problem was that the young folk didn't know when they had to change from being a child to being an adult. And most of the native peoples always had a kind of rite of passage, a time when the child became an adult, and they knew that, and what was expected of them after that. And he was telling me this story about a friend of his who had a 17-year-old son or something, and decided that he was going to create a rite of passage. So they had this. He went for out camping with three other of the father's friends. And each of the friends in turn took the young man when they were out camping and kind of like shared some of their more kind of personal kind of feelings and thoughts and that with them. And he said it was amazing when the young man came back, his whole attitude was different. So I wrote this song. How about we go ahead and see how we go on? And when I recorded it, I recorded a kind of fast version of it in Nashville, actually. But this was the way I wrote it, which was this kind of slow version, atmospheric version. Let's see how we go on. Take the young ones to the desert, teach them how the arrow flies, to smell the beast upon the wind, run with Mother Nature's loving lies. Show them how to balance what is wrong and what is right, and make their own direction through the longest, darkest night. Oh, you need that rite of passage before you can continue on. A grave self-understanding you can lean your dreams upon. You may want for children, you may crave for man and wife, but you need that rite of passage to the summer of your life. Show the children to the master, put the tools into their hands, and show them how to work the grain, and how to hold the ever-moving sand. Place with them the knowledge of the far and of the near, and lead them through the waiting storms that will never ever clear. Oh, you need that rite of passage before you can continue on. That brave self-understanding you can lean your dreams upon. And you may want for children, you may crave for man and wife, but you need that rite of passage to the summer of your life. It's a sad, deluded vision, this creature of our times. Oh, its body now is broken, its smile it rarely has the chance to shine. It stands so high and mighty with its never-ending, while somewhere in the beating heart the earth it vainly pleads. Oh, you need that rite of passage before you can continue on. That brave self-understanding you can lean your dreams upon. You may want for children, you may crave for man and wife, but you need that rite of passage to the summer of your life. Thank you very much. That's my rite of passage song with a rather kind of unique chord at the end there, which kind of threw me. But anyway, that's what happens because this is actually live. This is not recorded and then kind of put out as a pretend live stream. This is really live, and so when things go wrong, they go wrong, and I like that because it's kind of like human, and that's what I always loved about doing concerts. And we'd also like to welcome to the stage my wonderful backing band, the Tatty Faces. And they've been wonderful over the last 76 concerts. And I'm going to continue with this wee song, which I thought was quite kind of poignant, or quite relevant, seeing as we're just coming out of the winter. And it's a song by one of our national poets, a gentleman called Robert Tannahill, and he was a kind of tragic character, a kind of contemporary of Burns, and he committed suicide when he was in his mid-20s, I think, you know, and a kind of a tragic character, but he wrote some beautiful poems and some beautiful songs, and this is called Gloomy Winters Knew a War, which is just gloomy winters now away. For those of you who are watching from, and it's a beautiful tune, you know, and some of you might recognise this as the theme music for the movie The Piano. Michael Nyman's theme music from the music for the piano. There's only one wee problem, and that is that Robert Tannahill, who wrote this, lived 200 years ago, and so I'll leave you to make your own mind up about it. But it's beautiful. Gloomy winters knew a war. Soft the westland breezes blow, Among the barks of Stanley Shaw, the mavis sings Fugerio. Sweet the crawflower's early bell, it decks Gleniffer's dewy dell, bloomin' like your bonny cell, my young, my artless dearie-o. Come, my lassie, let us stray o'er Glencalag's sunny brae, and blithely spend the golden day midst joy that's never weary-o. Towering o'er the Newton woods, lavrocks fan the snow-white clouds, siller socks with downy buds adorn the banks Cibrerio, and round the sylvan fairy nooks feathery brackens fringe the rocks, neath the brae the barney jukes, and ilka thing is cheerio. But trees may bud and birds may sing, flowers may bloom and verdure spring, but joy to me they canna bring unless we, my dearie-o. Gloomy winters knew a wall, soft the westland breezes blow, among the barks of Stanley Shaw, the mavis sings Fugerio. But trees may bud and birds may sing, flowers may bloom and verdure spring, but joy to me they canna bring unless we, my dearie-o. That's thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm assuming that you'll be clapping here, and if you're watching, and maybe sitting in front of your laptop or your iPhone or your well, not your any phone, or your big smart TV with a wee glass of something and a bag of popcorn or whatever, or it's Saturday night, and thank you for that. That was Robert Tannehill's beautiful song, Gloomy Winters Knew a War. You can imagine it. Dung, 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 dung. That's the piano tune from the movie. And anyway, I'm going to continue with this wee song, which I love. This is where we do a song with a chorus. And I love singing this song, and I've done it a couple of times over the last year, but I'm going to do it again. It's another trad song. It's from the northeast of Scotland, and just put this away safely. And it's a great. The northeast of Scotland's got a great kind of tradition, all the kind of bothy ballads, and this is a wee song that just tells the story of a young man going to the feeing market. Now, the way that kind of agricultural workers worked, was that they would go and get feed, or they would get hired at these big markets that they had every around the country in the spring, and so he's just telling the story about the farm that he's going to work on. And I had this funny thing with my own father, because my own family kind of worked on the land, and I always wondered why my father used to sort of talk about, he'd say, oh, we used to live here, we were out for a drive or something, and he'd say, oh, we used to live here, and then we used to live here as well, and I was going, how many places did you live in? But the truth is that agriculture workers, my grandfather was a shepherd, and they only really ever stayed a couple of years in the one place, and then they kind of moved on. I don't know why that was, but they only got hired for a year, and then probably at the end of the year, if they didn't like the job, they just went to the they went to the market again and got another job. And but I thought I brought this along to show you, because I'm very lucky I have a copy. I'm going to see if maybe Jenny can get it on that camera. I don't know, can you? And it's been typed out in an old typewriter, and it's a copy of my grandfather's, of a letter offering a job for my grandfather, and in 1925. And I thought I would read it to you. I think I've done this before, but some new people. So I would just read it because it's fascinating, and it's the letter heading is Sir William Keith Murray. So he was obviously a big landowner, and this was the market in Crieff in 1925, and it says, Sir, confirming our meeting in Crieff Market today, I now record the bargain made there between us. So they made a bargain, and they would shake hands, spit and shake hands, and he says, and it's in an old typewriter, so it's hard to read, and it's duties. The place is that of second shepherd, so the job was to be the second shepherd. So the place is that of second shepherd on the braes of Moniverde farm. And your especial care will be the wedders and herding all above the Barvik flats. So this is describing, these were the sheep. In addition, you will help at haymaking, lambing, handlings, and attend neighbouring gatherings. That's when they gathered the sheep in. You work to the order of the head shepherd, James Henderson. And I love the kind of language and these kind of things. But the next bit's really interesting. It's the wages, money, £70, payable half yearly, 8 bowls of oatmeal per annum, potatoes, 1 ton in the season, summer grass for a cow, and her winter keep of hay and some turnips, 4 tons of coal per annum. And I just think it's fantastic. £70 for a whole year's work. I mean, can you work that out? That's about £1. £70. Am I getting that right? Is it about £2 a week or something? Well, 1925, but you got it paid twice a year. And you entered to duty on the 28th of May 1925, and the engagement is for 1 year. I have engaged Peter Halley, motor contractor in Crieff, to flit you from Fortingal, which is where they lived, to Glenturret on Thursday, the 28th of May. Haley says he will arrive at Fortingal the morning about 7 a.m. and allowing 1 hour to load, you should be travelling by 8 and arrive in Glenturret by noon. You could probably do that journey in about half an hour, but now, but anyway, so that's and it says, please sign the copy of this and return it to you, blah, 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 blah. And I just think it's fantastic kind of, I'm so lucky to have this record of that kind of thing, that kind of thing. And maybe I've bored you with that, I don't know, but... So we've done this before, so you can know the chorus. And you sing, and sing, Irie, Erity, Ari, and sing, Irie, Erity, An. And sing, Irie, Erity, Ari, and sing, Irie, Erity, An. And sing, Irie, Erity, Ari, and sing, I. We'll do that a couple of times. All right, guys? Oh, maybe a bit out of tune. and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. I think it's great that there's a whole community of people now across the globe all singing this wee Northeast Scottish song. Wonder if the guy that wrote it in the fields when he wrote this song ever imagined that would happen. You know. And sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. Oh, it happened at last Whitsuntide, a tired home a place, and I gied up to inch to feed my fortune for to chase, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. I fell in wi' Adam Mitchell, and wi' him I did presume. He's a farmer up Kennethment way at a place called Sleepy Toon, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. Says he, if you'll agree with me, you'll get the fairest pay, for I never gar my servants work me nor 10 hours a day, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. And it was on a Monday morning we gaed doon to Sleepy Toon, and he's ranked us in good order for to lay his turnips doon, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. Let's hear ya. And sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. And the orders were to bed at 6 and never leave the toon, for ilka time we left it we'd be fined half a croon, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. Ah, but we paid little heed, oh this, and we often took the pass, sometimes to buy tobacco, sometimes to court a lass, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. I think we should try it on your own. This is what you sing on your own with the tatty faces. Here we go. And sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy. Getting the vibe here in the old schoolhouse. We're getting the vibe, aren't we? Is that it? Aren't we, Duncan? Yes, we are. But now the term is round again, and our wages we hae won, and we're a to rainy near to rise us up some fun, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. And when we're o'er and afford, we'll guard the Glasgow round, and we'll tell them all the usage that we had at Sleepy Toon, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. And maybe we'll see old Adam a-supping at his bros. I'll gie him a lin of my hanky for to dicht his snotty nose, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian, and sing airy tiari, and sing airy tian. Oh, it happened at last Whitsuntide, a tired home a place. I gied up to inch to fee my fortune for to chase, and sing airy yari and sing irie and sing irie and sing irie and sing irie and sing irie. Hit it away. Well done, well done. That's such a fantastic song to sing. I just love singing it because it's got that lovely story. It tells this lovely story. And I'm sorry for a lot of you who don't understand the Scots, well, the kind of Doric that it's in. I'm not a Doric speaker, but it's kind of Scots that I grew up with. And yeah, and I love the kind of the sentiment of the whole thing. I love that. Obviously, the Sleepy Town was the name of the farm where he'd worked, and obviously when he was back at the market, he didn't get on very well with old Adam Mitchell, who was the farmer. And I love that line. Maybe I'll see old Adam supping at his bros. That's his, you know. I'll gie him a len of my hanky for to dicht his snotty nose. I'll let him borrow my handkerchief to wipe his snottery nose. I love that kind of, love that language. And anyway, so I'm going to finish with this wee song now. And there's a couple of things I was going to show you. I'm getting into terrible trouble from the tatty faces for not doing a wee bit more to let you see their wonderful tea towel and their wonderful mugs. So tonight, I'm going to just give you another wee, for those of you who might not know about it. And the tatty faces are very proud of this, and so are you all right, guys? So I'm doing it. Look, so if you want to get one, of these, I'll hold it up to the wee camera. There's the tatty. There's your the tatty faces tea towel, which we've got for sale in our wee shop, and no self-respecting house is now not complete without your tatty face, mug. And I hope you'll agree with me that they've been great. It's been great because it's been a very hard time this last year. We're coming up to the first anniversary of these wee shows in a couple of weeks. In fact, you can get your tickets for that show now at DougieMacLeanLive.com, and it's a kind of 1 hour special, and it's going to be our first anniversary. And really, I owe a lot to the tatty faces for keeping me cheery and keeping you. You know, we've had a bit of fun with them over the year. You know, they've been great. They've been great, and it's wonderful to have to be able to kind of have the kind of imagination going with them, and they've certainly kept me cheery while we've been struggling through all this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to do this wee song, and so yeah, I'm hoping that on the special one, I'll get back to doing my little 3-minute videos, my little documentaries that I was doing before the weather turned and I couldn't get out, you know, and I'll play a wee bit of fiddle tunes on that show as well. Anyway, and so I'm going to finish off with this, and this is not a song I do very much, but I thought it was quite kind of relevant, and we had a dear young friend who, this will be our anniversary, probably I think of 10 years of her tragic early death, and she was our babysitter. She worked with us, and she worked in our office. She helped us with the festivals, and she was called Melanie. Lots of you who come to the shows would remember Melanie, and she had just tragically died suddenly. And her mum and dad are great pals of mine, so I thought I would have a wee go. And I wrote this song just not long after she passed away, and I didn't want to be too kind of miserable and sad and depressed about it. So it's a wee positive song, and it's probably quite a nice wee positive song for these times as well. And so I'm going to have a wee mouthful of my port before Nigel's port. Got a wee tickle in my throat. And so we'll try this, and this could go. try it and see how we get on. I heard her laugh as she smiled. I saw her dancing away down by the barn like a young child at play. And she was standing with friends I had known, together as they moved along through Clooney woods on the wings of her song. But a new day is beginning, with all of nature singing across ruin and braes, through the hazel and thorn. And another door will open, though every heart is broken, across loon and braes. The valley, it wakes with the dawn. Oh, lost in the blink of an eye, well, I saw them drift through the trees. I heard their voices sound inside the breeze. Across the loch as the silver light fades, over water reflecting the light, finally to turn and then fade from our sight. New days, our days beginning, with all of nature singing across loon and braes, through the hazel and thorn. And another door will open, though every heart is broken, across loon and braes. The valley, it wakes with the dawn. Now new, a new day, I'll get that right this time. A new day is beginning, with all of nature singing across loon and braes, through the hazel and thorn. And another door will open, though every heart is broken, across loon and braes. The valley, it wakes with the dawn. I think you've got the hang of that, we might try one more time. And a new day is beginning, with all of nature singing across loon and braes, through the hazel and thorn. And another door will open, though every heart is broken, across loon and braes. The valley, it wakes with the dawn. Thank you very much. And that was my wee song called Loon and Braes, which I wrote for our dear wee friend Melanie. And I kind of had this idea of seeing her, because I'd lost quite a lot of friends at that point. I had lots of different people. And I had this idea of seeing her in the fields with all these people that I'd lost over the years, you know what I mean? And being able to feel that she was among good, people that she knew as well, and that she was in good company. And anyway, that was where the wee song came from. And that brings us to the end of our wee... half an hour Saturday night special, Saturday night concert again. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you're watching from somewhere exotic, then please leave a wee message on our Facebook, because we really enjoy after the show going and looking at and just to see where everybody's been watching from. And actually, Jenny's shouting from there. It's just me and Jenny in here, because this is a completely automated kind of wee thing that we've got. And she was saying that everywhere is special, and I must agree with her. And so thank you very much. And I also like to take a wee minute in time. And the whole reason we started these things was because of all the difficult kind of things that we were all going through with the lockdown and the virus and stuff. And I always like to thank all the people who are at the front end, all the NHS people and the teachers and all the people who are, it's still it's still dangerous, and it's still, we've all got to look after each other and make sure that we're all sticking to the rules and making, until we slowly get out the other side. But anyway, thank you all again to all the carers and all the people that are out there who've done for a whole year now, have kind of put their lives on the line and gone out and done the stuff for us that have kept us all kind of kept us all sane at this stage, which is. So anyway, that's enough rabbiting on, and I'll thank you very much. I'm going to have a wee toast for you. And I'll see you next week for another wee free Saturday night concert. And if you want to get a ticket for the special anniversary concert, we'll try and make it a bit of a special kind of show. You can go to DougieMacLeanLive.com and you can buy a wee ticket there. And thank you to the Tatty Faces for their wonderful contribution as always. And in fact, we had a wee problem this week. Some of the Tatty Faces were helping Jenny pack up some of the merchandise, and people were getting the wrong things. And people who were ordering something and they were getting a Tatty Face tea towel, and all these people were getting Tatty Face tea towels that weren't supposed to get them, because the Tatty Faces were kind of a wee bit kind of. So I think she's fired them from that job now in the old schoolhouse there. Anyway, night. You all take care of yourselves. Look after each other. Stay cheery. We're getting very close to getting through to the other side of this. So yeah, just another wee while longer, and I'll see you next Saturday. Night. Aichava. Toodaloo.